there was a system, but the complexity of church communications have shifted a ton in the last 5 years for sure, but even before then. And so before, it was like a single form request. They already had that set up, and it would drop in just basically bulk information into a project management system. And then our team basically had to decipher, what are they asking for? What's the facts here? Where is this going? What's the timeline? Like, there was no clear next steps or like pattern of things to think through. So over the last couple years, we've shifted part of that. So the holy grail a little bit of our communication system is what we call a Commreq. It's abbreviated for communications request, but we just say send in a Commreq. And that is a form. At this point, it's built out with a lot of logic. We have a paper form version and a jot form version, but that goes in and it helps the ministry basically say, hey, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. About 70% of those for us are events. And honestly, I would assume that's true for a lot of churches is, I have a group luncheon, or I have a fall retreat, or I have fill in the blank event. And from that, we ask them a series of questions to help them kind of assess, like, what am I actually trying to accomplish? And what do I think I need? But on the communication side, we kind of learned, hey, ministers, we hire them because they're awesome ministers. Yeah. We hire them because they're awesome preachers or worship leaders or disciplers or counselors. We don't hire them because you're a great marketer. Yeah. And so we ask questions intentionally so they can tell us what's important, what's the goal, and what are some of the priorities. And then on the communication side, we help decipher, hey, what does this actually mean to execute well, to accomplish your goals and vision, to get to the right people, without putting all the pressure on them to tell us how to do our job.
Yeah, no, that's good. So one form that eventually it dumps into the project management system that we'll talk about here in a little bit. How has that been received over the last 5 years? We've shifted away from hallway conversations and emails and texts and phone calls and that kind of thing. And we've had a unified front of submit a Commreq. Like, thank you for that. I still need you to submit a Commreq. How has that been received?
It is a mixed bag. So originally when we rolled it out, there is a friction point that happens of, oh, I just need this done. And that's another thing on my to-do list. But we really quickly learned, and when we could show them kind of behind the scenes of, hey, when you have a hallway conversation with one person on your team, you're trusting that that you actually verbalize everything you need. 2, that person can remember it. 3, that person has margin and the ability to reproduce all that information to the right people, and then we can receive, whoever the receiving end of that project is, they actually still understand what's happening. And that is just, there's a lot of variables there that can get lost along the way. I don't think that's surprising to anybody. But the second thing was, we use a term here at the church called Mack truck theory of what happens if, and not in a horrible way, but what if you tell me something on the phone and I get the flu and I'm home? Now I can't tell anybody. What if you send me an email? And same thing, or last week there's a huge storm in Nashville. We all lost power, didn't have cell service. I can't access anything in my email. So how can my team know what you want from us? Same thing with a text message. So if it comes in a Commreq, in a form, it goes to a place where everyone has access to that information. It also gives a level of accountability of, hey, you asked for this. Communications now needs to at least follow up with you. When it's a hallway thing, it's really easy to be like, I got stuck in meetings and I totally forgot. Now it's 2 weeks later. So there's a sense of accountability. The whole communications team knows. That was kind of the main thrust of it. Once we enforced it and we didn't just say, oh, you don't actually need to, then it was buy-in pretty quickly. And at this point, that's the expectation. People can joke about it back to us of I know I need a Commreq, but can I tell you my idea? And we found that being able to sit in the moment and be able to dream with them in the moment, it actually really helps the relationship and ministry trust, and not just be like, well, can I ask you 100 questions now that you're telling me? Because we actually get to partner with them in that part of the ministry instead of just be detail police.